Using Illustrator, you can easily set up buttons. You can make a button that allows you to change the text as needed without having to rebuild and resize the underlying button shape. It's a little difficult to explain, so let me just show you. Here I have a graphic with some text sitting on top of it. I'm just going to pull out a copy of this, and I'm going to change my text to say, "Give right now." As you can see, when I do that, I'm stuck with the option of having to resize the graphic underneath the button, since the text no longer fits within the size of the button. I'm going to show you how we can make a more dynamic button. If we compare the button that I just showed you to this one over here on the right, and if I type "right now," you can see how the button is going to update and the size is going to be changed. Even the effects are going to change. This gives us a lot of flexibility, especially when we want to use a particular style and apply it to a bunch of different elements. Let me show you how we can do this. In this example, I will be taking advantage of Font Awesome. You can find Font Awesome at fontawesome.com. This is a set of scalable vector icons that are often used in web development. I've already installed Font Awesome into Illustrator, and I'm going to take advantage of them in order to make these little icons that are vector text-based icons in my buttons. Once you've installed Font Awesome, you'll need to use your glyph panel to be able to access them. Here in the glyph panel, if you switch to the Font Awesome font family, and I usually just type it out because it's faster, you're going to see that these are all of the different icons that I now have the ability to use as a font-based icon. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my text tool. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to apply one of the Font Awesome icons. And I'll just double click on the heart to insert the heart into my text. Then I'm going to change the rest of this text to say, "I love it." And this text can be any font family that you want. So if I don't want to use this one, I could choose any of the other ones that I have available in my application. I'll make the font a little bit bigger, and I'm going to increase the size of the Font Awesome icon as well. And now I have the text that I want to use on my button. The next step in this process is that I'm going to use my Appearance panel to be able to build the button text. So here I'll open up the Appearance panel. As you can see in the Appearance panel, it lets me set properties onto the text. I'm going to select the type row, and then I'm going to insert a new fill down here at the bottom. So I'll add a new fill. I'm going to go ahead and select a color for my fill, and I'll use this teal color. And what it looks like it's doing is it looks like it's changing the actual characters of the font. But watch what happens next. I'm going to go into my Effect panel, and I'm going to select Convert to Shape, and I'll choose a rounded rectangle. If you want to see what this looks like, you can turn Preview on. And as you can see, the text is actually changing to a rounded rectangle. You can go ahead and adjust the width and the height to your liking. So I'm going to make this a little bit more narrow. You can increase the corner radius if you want more or less rounding. Once I'm happy with the settings, I'm going to click OK. Now it looks like I've actually lost the text. The text is still there, but in order for me to be able to apply a color to the text, I need another fill. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert a second fill. The second fill is not using the rounded rectangle effect. So I'll come up to the topmost fill and I'll change the fill color to something else. Now you can see that my text is going to show up, and then the underlying fill is going to contain the effect of round rectangle. I might also want to add some additional effects to the bottom fill. So I'm going to select the bottom fill, and I'll go into Effect, and I'm going to apply a drop shadow. Again, if you want to preview what's happening, you can turn on the Preview dialog box, and you can dial these settings in to be whatever sort of numbers that you like. Now I have my button, and it looks pretty good. If I make a copy of this button, and I change what the text says, You'll notice that the size of the button is going to adjust as I write the new text. I find this feature to be extremely helpful when I'm building websites because often I'll want to have a button style and I'll want to apply it to multiple elements within my document. By creating the button in this way, I have a dynamic and flexible button, one that allows me to change the text and have the button size automatically update so the text fits within it.